When I first started this project, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. But after hours and hours of recording and days of editing, I finally have the first 10 days of something that I think you guys might like just as much as I do. Be sure to let me know down below in the comments what you think, and I hope you guys enjoy. On day one, we spawn in a very interesting location, a bar of all places. We spent some time looting the place before heading outside to find a very nice sports car. The only problem, it's all locked up and we don't have a key. But I guess that's a problem for another day. Moving on to a wreck on the road, we find ourselves a riverside map. We now know that we are on the west end of Riverside and fairly safe from the town. Next, we take care of some locals. Find ourselves some watches to choose from. And realize that we look a lot better in black. We then head north to find a laundromat. A fresh produce store. Some cars with a gas can. And a day one jackpot in the general store. I then empty out some boxes, pick them up, load them into my backpack, and take them back to our temporary base. The rest of the day is spent organizing all of our loot, disassembling furniture around the base for wood and nails, and then a very, very uncomfortable sleep on a wooden bar chair. On the morning of day 2, we set out to introduce ourselves to our new neighbors. Luckily for us, we found a few having a nice little picnic just up the road. Later on, we come across this really nice looking van, but again, there's no key. Not ready to give up yet, we decide to check inside, and would you look at that? We found a key. I wonder whatever happened to the owner of this place. Was he infected? Did he make it out alive? Well, never mind. But ooh, guns. After a few more hours of looting, we come across a boarded up house here with what looks like a really nice gas trailer out front, if I had to guess. Always the daredevil we are, we decide to unbarricade the door, head on inside, and I tell you, we are not disappointed with what we find. I mean, come on. Just look at all this loot. And the backpack? Mwah. Chef's kiss. To finish off the day, we jumped in our brand new van, went back to base, and organized all of our loot. Despite waking up with a sore back and a raging cigarette craving, day 3 turned out to be the best day of our life so far. We set out with 2 goals in mind. 1, find ourselves something a little bit more comfortable to sleep on, and 2, keep killing everything we come across. After loading up a nice comfy chair to sleep on, we were checking out some cars in a local parking lot when... Wait, I know that sound. Hey, I see you. After 2.5 days, we had found our very first survivor, and his name was Russell. I asked Russell if he'd like to join us, and he kindly agreed. So as a show of good faith, I stepped outside, cleared out the rest of the zombies that were attacking his freshly fortified police station base, and he helped me loot it knowing that we were going back to my house. And then just when I thought this day couldn't possibly get any better, we saw her. She was the most beautiful thing that Russell and I had ever laid our eyes on in our short friendship. After siphoning all the gas out of our old van into our new truck, we loaded up all the loot from the police station and headed home feeling like a couple of winners. Day 4 was a wash. It rained all day long, so we spent the day organizing all of our loot, rearranging the base a little bit, and basically just reading. On day 5, just as Russ and I were heading out for the day, Ian decided to show up. Now, I'm not sure why he decided to smash out our front window, possibly to show how tough he is. But either way, we decided to invite him to join our group. With 3 able-bodied members, we were feeling brave. So we did what just about anybody would do in our position. We grabbed a bunch of guns and headed out to start killing. Our great plan, however, was short-lived. With the rain coming down even harder and the zombies incoming from every direction, Russ and Ian eventually started to panic. So we cleared out the area of what we could and headed back for our own safety. On day 6, while the crew and I were out looting, we stumbled across another survivor house absolutely full of goodies. Oh, hell yeah. After loading up all of our new guns and ammo, we noticed a couple of random dead bodies off in the distance. We were just running over to check it out when we noticed our second. Oh, hell yeah. And then a third. Oh, hell yeah. And to top it all off, just as we're pulling the truck around, we run into Sharon. She tells us she's the one who cleared out all these zombies in the area, and that she has a nice laugh from the back seat while we struggle to tow this bus home. Day 7 was another fairly relaxed day. We spent a bunch of time organizing our new loot again. Then we assigned some roles to our new members. And then we cooked our first meal on the fire, a nice chicken stir fry. On day 8, everything changed. We woke up, met Alice, who decided to join us. We then set out to do some clearing when we heard a not so familiar noise. With a helicopter flying overhead, we knew all the zombies in the area would be pulled to our base, which we just couldn't allow. So the four of us set out to draw the helicopter away, hopefully keeping the hordes away from our home. It was at this point that I decided this would be a good chance for us to get out and practice our shooting skills, which was a mistake I would always regret. With the blasts of my shotgun calling in more and more zombies, it's no surprise people started to panic. Unfortunately, Sharon was the first one to fall, followed by Ian, while Russ and I desperately tried to pull the zombies away using the sound of our truck. With Ian's screams still ringing in our ears, Russ and I fell back like a couple of cowards. Once the helicopter had finally left us alone, we headed back home so that I could gear up for a night of revenge. It was already late by the time I headed out, but I knew what I had to do. With it being too dark to continue, I headed back home for a very sad, sleepless night. On day 9, I realized that no amount of zombie massacre was going to bring back my friends. So Russ and I loaded up in the truck and headed out to our local scrapyard in search of vehicle parts and some gas. After looting the whole scrapyard and hooking up to this nice new trailer we found, we decided to head home for the rest of the day. And that was where we ran into Amanda. She took one good look at our beautiful truck and trailer and decided she'd better join us for her own good. On day 10, we took a drive to our local hardware store. We were really just looking for nails and hopefully some axes. Sounds easy enough, right? With a slow trickle of zombies coming, it was nothing we couldn't handle. But once they started to get a little closer, panic seemed to set in. Once everyone had calmed down and we'd regrouped, it was time to loot the store. Unfortunately, we didn't find any axes, but we did find quite a few nails. Later on, we were looting a police car when disaster struck again. I was rushing us home while Russ was tending his wounds in the back seat when we came across 3 survivors holed up in the spiffo. First Sandra joined, then Brian, and finally Sean. The 5 of us then drove home where Russ decided to finally come clean. My oldest friend of the apocalypse had been bitten. And not just once, but 3 times. With tears in my eyes, I told Russ I thought it would be best if he stayed outside tonight. That way if he turned in his sleep, he couldn't hurt anybody else. He reluctantly agreed, and I went inside to cry myself to sleep. I really hope you guys enjoyed the first 10 days of our Zomboid Survival Challenge. If you'd like to see the rest of the 100 days, please let me know down in the comments below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.